Robert Appledorn here, and, well, you know where we are. Okay, folks, just a really quick update on where we are with the scrap rod. It is now coming together very quickly. We haven't built any of the motor or transmission or anything like that yet, but we did get most of the rolling chassis completed. In fact, we got the rolling chassis almost completely completed. We put a big old fuel tank here on the back so that way you can go for miles and miles. Got some huge white walls in the back. I didn't Z the frame. I kept it straight because I really liked this kind of angry stance of it. And Duesenberg grill up front. Early 1900s Mercedes. Cover over the motor area. Doozy spoked wheels in the back. This is a huge vehicle. You know, by comparison, here is the shell, the body shell of AMT's 49 Merc kit. Fresh out of the box. More about this guy later. But you can see, you know, his size comparison to this thing, and that makes sense. I mean, these early 1900s cars were huge. They were massive, and the scrap rod's no exception. We got the tub out of, I believe this is the 37 Ford pickup truck. I took this out of the kit that I'm using for Dr. Cranky's calendar build, since I'm not using any of the interior guts for that specific build. So yeah, this is a real big model, and you know, we're still debating about whether we're going to put these lights here in the front. Yeah, so we're thinking about putting them in. You know, we don't know. Maybe we'll put them in. Maybe we won't. I don't know. We have to figure out how we're going to get the engine to fit, and also we have to figure out some sort of steering mechanism on the front axle. Frame went together way easier than I thought it would. We've got our laser cut pieces here, which we had to thin down to get the tank to fit in between, but it's okay. And then underneath, all we really did was we built two box frames, one for the rear axle, one for the front axle, which extends above the kind of support for the cowl over the engine. And then we've got some detail bits. These are out of the anti-ERTL's Outcast kit, and I only partially de-chromed them, and then what I'll do is I will spray them with acrylic, and then take some rubbing alcohol and take off some of the paints, that way the chrome shines through. I de-chromed all the wheels. These were all, the spokes were chrome and this was chrome. I de-chromed that. I think we're going to paint those red. Maybe make the frame a turquoise, seafoam, green, bluish color. And then thinking about making the body and the hood over the engine. We're going to finish all of that in either bare metal foil or with metallizer paints. Give it a raw metal look. So this thing just looks like a beast. It's a huge car, you know. Part of the inspiration for this came from Roland Emmett's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and part of the inspiration came from a vehicle called Brutus, which is this just a massive, gnarly vehicle. So yeah, it's a big boy, turning out way bigger than I thought he would. But you know, when we went into building this, remember the whole point was just to use parts that we weren't using from other builds. And you know, one of the key things that stood out to me was this hood, which is off of the Rommel's rod kit, which is essentially just an early Mercedes half-track. And then you know, Henry Leonard was kind enough to send us all kinds of goodies. A partially assembled Duesenberg kit that just had parts that really called out to us. And there's some fit stuff that we got to work out. You know, this isn't perfectly seamless yet, but you know, we might leave it a little jaunty because this is supposed to be a ramshackle rod. You know, this thing's going to be rusty. You know, almost all my builds are rusty because, remember, rustiness is next to rodliness. Anyway, so yeah, that's this thing. It's pretty close to being done. We'll start We'll probably finish up figuring out how the engine's going to fit inside, and then we'll start throwing some paint around on that. It's coming out real good. We have all kinds of other stuff coming along. You know, like I said, we've got this great looking 49 Merc, one of my favorite kits. Got a 66 Buick, and we got this big guy. You might be able to guess what that is, but it's going to be a real fun build. And we got all kinds of really cool stuff happening. We're hoping to finish up with all of our open builds here within the next week, and we'll start work on these and a few other kits. Yeah, so everything's going real great here in the Slammer. It's a quick update. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.